Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be working on my 2002 Subaru Legacy GT. And if you haven't seen the previous videos on this car, I'd recommend checking them out, and I'll make sure to leave a link above. But anyways, what we're going to be doing today with the car is we're going to be doing my DIY version of a headlight restoration. So with that, the one thing that you need to consider is that you don't need to go out and buy a headlight restoration kit. Can you and do it that way? Yeah, sure. If you want to read all the instructions, and you can do it that way. But I think this is going to be a much more cheaper alternative. So the biggest reason that you want to actually polish your headlights is just due to visibility at night. So what will happen is if you have a foggy lens is that the light will not be projected as well as if it were coming out of a clear lens. If you have a clear lens versus a fogged up lens, you're going to be able to see better at night. And overall too, it's going to make the front end of the car look a lot better, just due to the fact that it doesn't look kind of dated and old. So let me show you what the car looks like right now, and then we can get started. So here's what the headlights look like in direct sunlight, and as you can see, you can't really see the details of the headlight that are in this general area. And on the turn signal side, it looks okay, but you can definitely tell right here that, for example, there's a line that goes across the housing like this that's completely fogged up to the point where you can't see it when it's in direct sunlight. And on the other side, it's kind of the same story. This one might even be a little bit worse, but you just can't really see the details of the headlight. And these are signs that the surface is pretty contaminated, and if you hear right now my hand going across the headlight, it sounds almost like sandpaper. And what we want this to be is super smooth. Now before we get started with showing you the products that we're going to be using today, I do want to give you a heads up that I am not sponsored by anybody. This is just basically going off of my experience, and it's just an unbiased opinion on what I think really works. So what we have here is I just have a Chemical Guys' microfiber towel, as well as 2 of their different applicator pads. So this one is actually going to be for the waxing phase to protect the lens, and this is going to be the cutting pad that's going to be good for polishing. Now what I have here is I just have some carnauba wax. I usually use turtle wax just because it's cheap and it works. And this stuff I really recommend, Meguiar's Plastics, and this is where we're actually going to be using to restore the headlights and polish them with. We also have a signature glass cleaner from Chemical Guys. Now you don't need to use Chemical Guys specifically, you can even use Windex that you would use in your house. It really doesn't matter. All we're going to be using this for is to just clean the surface. So what we're going to start off with is the glass cleaner as well as the microfiber towel, and all we're going to do is just spray down the lenses and clean them off to try and get rid of as many contaminants as possible before we start the polishing phase. Spray it on like that. Give them a quick wipe down. And you'll even see as soon as you apply the glass cleaner, it looks like it's doing a really good job at cleaning up the headlight and making it look 100 times better. But what's going to happen is the product is going to evaporate, and it's going to go back to the foggy stage that it was in before. Because what the glass cleaner is basically doing is it's seeping in and it's covering the imperfections on the lens and making it look good temporarily. So let me do the other side real quick. Something else I would recommend is just popping the hood on your vehicle. So with popping the hood, it actually helps gain more access to the top line over here so that you don't miss anything when you're actually masking all this off. Now that we've cleaned the surface with the glass cleaner, what we want to do now is we want to use some painter's tape to mask this off. And you can get any just normal blue tape from a hardware store, or even some grocery stores I know sell this stuff. Okay, so I taped off the edges, and if you really wanted to, you could tape off this edge over here. You know, I've done this in the past. I'm getting pretty good at it, so I can just kind of avoid getting anything on this. And even if you do get a little bit on this side, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. That should be able to wipe off pretty easily. Now let's get to work on actually polishing this. So what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using our cutting pad, and the reason that this is a cutting pad is just due to the fact that the composition of the actual applicator pad itself is a little bit more rough and aggressive in comparison to this one, which is more for finishing, which is a lot smoother. This is going to work almost like a sandpaper, just a lot less aggressive than a sandpaper. I would almost consider it to be something on the lines of maybe like a really high grit sandpaper, but it's going to give us enough abrasiveness so that when we apply the polish itself, it should go on, and I'll show you guys exactly what happens when we do that. So all we're going to do is take our plastic polish and we're going to shake it up a little bit, and you do not want to go crazy with the product itself. You only need to maybe have a couple dots on the pad total. So let's do like 4 dots. Like so. And that should be all that we really need. So now when we come over here, what we want to do is we want to spread the product evenly. You don't want to immediately just start scrubbing away, because what's going to happen is it's just going to lather it and you're not going to get that abrasiveness from the applicator pad itself. So you almost want to treat it like you're going to be polishing a car. So you're going to go like this and you're just going to press down. And you see how it leaves those marks like that? In that same pattern that we have on the pad, we're just going to do that all the way across. And then you want to pick a direction that you want to scrub. You could either go this way or you can go this way, but you do not want to do circular motions. So, alright, let me put the camera down and we'll come back to this in a sec. Alright, and look at the difference. As you can see, the polish really helped bring this out, so you can see all the details inside the headlight lens itself. And if you don't believe me, I haven't done the other side, so let's go take a look at the other side. So just remember that this is just after one pass. I mean, look at the difference. Look at how fogged up this is. You can barely even see through it. That's just amazing. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to finish polishing up that one headlight that we just did, and then I'm also going to polish the other side, and then when we come back I'll show you how to protect the headlight lens. So I'll see you in a sec. Alright, and we're back. Now I finished up both of the headlights. And I mean, while I still had the stuff out, I actually went ahead and polished up the fog lights. And I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but I can't believe that this is the same car just after 10 minutes of just scrubbing away with some elbow grease. So let's check it out. Woo! They look so good. Even the fog lights came out pretty good too. And it just goes to show that just a little bit of time and effort and being patient with your work, you can get some really good results. And there was no sanding, no headlight restoration kit instructions. It just took maybe, what, 15 minutes tops? And it really transforms the look of the car too. I'm really digging the bug deflector too. I really like this. It definitely serves its purpose, but it looks pretty cool too in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. So now what we need to do to preserve the work that we've done on polishing these is we need to apply wax. So I want to show you guys real quick how to protect these. It's nothing too crazy. It'll probably take you less than 10 minutes to do. So I'll show you real quick. So the product that we're going to be using today is we're going to be using Turtle Wax's Carnauba wax. And I know that this is a super old bottle, but this stuff lasts a really long time. And it's a great investment to just have in your garage if you plan to do any auto detailing in the future. And what I have here is I have our finishing pad. So in comparison to the cutting pad, it's a lot less abrasive. It's smoother so that there's a lot less friction that's going to be happening when you apply whatever product that you're going to be using on this. So we're going to be using that. So as we come over here, we're going to just basically do what we did last time. And what I'm going to do is shake this up. And we just want to apply just a dot. Just got to be careful that not all this comes out at once. That's more than plenty. And what we want to do is we want to spread the product around on the lens. So I'm just going to go right here. so. And then you just lightly apply. And if you wanted to, you could have kept the tape on it, but for me, since I've done this plenty of times, it doesn't, you know, freak me out if I get a little bit of wax on the edges. You could just wipe that off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish up waxing these, and I'll see you guys in a sec.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, and we brought the car outside because I just wanted to give you a quick walk around and just show you the difference of what it looks like. I just really love the way that this came out. And I don't know if you guys remember what it looked like before, but I'll make sure to leave a picture or a video of what it looked like before in comparison to what it looks like now. And now you can see all the details in the headlight. And even when I run my finger across, it's super smooth now. And that's something that we didn't get before with this. Alright guys, and thank you so much for watching. And if you want to stay tuned for what happens with this car, as well as all the other cars in my fleet, make sure to subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next one.